where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And I thought I'd log on a few minutes early so I can chit chat with the folks that's early to class. You know what I'm saying? There's benefits to being early to class. I don't get a chance to talk to you guys too often and get questions from you, whether it be about, politics or I'd give you one shot, one question about CAF, something like that. Now, I reserve the right to say, don't ask that, but nonetheless, yeah, I want to feel like I am sensitive to my audience's needs. Therefore, if they would like to know things like, well, Kev, where were you born and raised? Yeah, simple stuff like that. Okay. All right. Now, somebody said they got an ad. That's what I'm talking about. I like to see where everybody's checking in from. People checking in from Florida, California, all over the place. That's what I like to see. How's things down in Florida? Man, it's hot. It's hotter than a firecracker up here in Ohio. Can't believe it, man. I'm sitting there like, I can't stand it. No, you can't stand it. I can't stand the heat. All the way from Thailand. Dallas, that's what I'm talking about. California, woo-wee. It got to be hot out there in California. Let me see. So if you're out in Cali, I think you're like 3.5 hours, ahead of me? I think, something like that. Or behind me. One of those two. Texas. Oh, Texas. Whew. Now, I'm going to tell you, the two hottest places I ever been is Texas and Arizona. I don't know. I don't know which one was hotter. When I went to Texas, I felt like when I got out the car, my clothes had just come out the dryer. That's what I felt like. I was like I just put on some clothes. It just came straight out the dryer. But then when I went to Arizona, I thought I was going to see Diablos any second. I was like, I got out of the airport, went out to get into some vehicle and was like, okay, I'm pretty sure Satan is going to be running around somewhere and be like, yo, I knew I was in hell. I got that's how hot it was in Arizona. But if I'm keeping it real, Texas was neck and neck, man. Those are two hot places. Now, Florida gets pretty hot too, but it's kind of a moisture sometimes. But Texas, woo-wee, man. Now, if I had a choice, I still would move to Texas or maybe say Florida. Florida would be my first choice. I'm just not cool with the hurricanes and all. But at the same time, I want to enjoy the water. See, I don't want to be up in the middle of Florida where I got to drive 8 hours to the beach. I want to be able to walk out the crib and go, the beach. Wait a minute. Is that a wave? Is that a wave coming to me? See, I don't want that. I don't want that part of it. But I do like Florida. I went down there and went through the Everglades, y'all. Y'all got to do it if you've never been to the Everglades to see it up close and personal. See, I watched it on TV. It's not the same. I got there, we're riding through the Everglades, and I'm looking at full-blown alligators in the water. It was amazing. Yeah. And then I think, what was it? Oh, a bird. The birds. Now, the tour guide told us, he said, look, man, don't eat nothing in front of the birds. Now, I'm saying, well, wait a minute. They're just little birds. He's like, no, they're going to harass you. They're going to try to take your food. Now, this lady didn't think fat meat had grease. She didn't believe it. So we come back from the tour, and we waiting for the guy to go get the van so we can go on the next location. And she goes to the vending machine and gets a bag of, I guess, Cheetos. And she starts to eat those Cheetos. And she threw one of those Cheetos in her mouth and said, oh my God. We all looked. She's like, a bird just took this Cheeto right out of my mouth. I said, that's a bad bird, baby. Them birds up there ain't trying to hunt. Nah, man. They sit back and they wait for humans. And if you don't give them what they want, they take it. They take it, man. Took that Cheeto right out of her mouth. I couldn't believe it, man. I said, well, the tour guide was right. He said, don't eat no Cheetos. Don't eat no snacks in front of the birds, man. They will harass you. Roll up there like, hey, dog, what you got on my Cheetos? I just bought these as mine. I was thinking maybe I could have them. Nah. Ain't going to be no eat no Cheetos in front of us. So I'm saying, yo, circle them. You'll get jumped by those birds down there in Florida. But anyway, with that being said, I think it's about time to start. I thought I'd chew the fat with y'all for a hot second. If this is your first time joining the show, please click the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. And what else? Let's get into it. But don't forget also that I have a Kevin's Corner store. And if you get a chance to check that out, please. And if you want to donate to the channel, you can. I fixed the link for the PayPal. So if you guys want to, support the channel through PayPal or Cash App, you can. And other than that, let's go ahead and get busy, man. Because, I think we might be putting together a dream team. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Get some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorilla in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. So, with that being said, like I said, check out Kevin's Corner Store, and you can also text MAGA to 330-974-4607. This way I will know that you're in my corner, and I can definitely text anybody just in case I disappear off of YouTube for some mysterious reason, which is going to kind of come up in tonight's live stream, dealing with censorship and things like that. So now we're about to get into this. We all know Kamala Harris is out there doing what she does, which is be a chameleon. And every once in a while she get caught, and she don't, have the chance or the time to change colors. She's like, man, you caught me off guard. And you know what I'm saying? Right about now, I'm sitting here, I'm yellow and I'm trying to turn green, but you know what I'm saying? You're going to see me. You're going to see me because you didn't give me a chance. I mean, when I see y'all coming, I start to adapt and change. But every once in a while, you catch the chameleon in its true colors and you get the real chameleon. So chameleon apparently was trying to step up and answer some questions. And this is how it turned out, y'all, which is going to kind of be the springboard into the rest of tonight's live stream. So let's check it out. It's rare to be catch her, y'all.
On a different front, Axios this week reported that President Trump, if he gets a second term, will sort of dial back, for lack of a better term, DEI programs that the Biden administration has put in forth. Obviously, I know you disagree with that. I obviously believe that you don't want him to get a second term. That said.
Now, listen to this bum. The President Trump, we met up with him. He said he's going to dial back DEI for a lack of better term. What do you mean a lack of a better term? That's what they call it. DEI, man. You should be rocking that term proudly. That's what I'm wondering. And in fact, you're talking to a perfect example of DEI. You're talking to a product of DEI. She should wear it proud. So here he is asking her about DEI and all of that stuff. And let's see the chameleon's answer to this, okay? Now, one part about this question that bothers me, check this out.
If that does happen, what do you think that would do to race relations in this country?
There it is. Democrats are obsessed with two things, abortion and racism. Race relations in the country. You would think we were living in 1920. That's what you would think. It's always race relations. How about if y'all stop talking about racism? That would help race relations in the country. You guys are the reason why we have racial tension in the country. And it's not coming from the folks on the right. We're not walking around talking about racism all the time. We're not seeing everything through racist lenses. It's coming from the left. It's coming from two ways from the left. The leadership who uses it as a political and a social weapon, then the dummies who buy it. And then you see it manifested in society. You see folks running around thinking that they see racism where there's no racism. All because of these idiots right here. But the difference is you got the ignorant folks who are a product and a result of their propaganda and manipulation and Marxist conflict theory. But then you have the malicious folks who know that race-related issues aren't the real issues in America. Those are manufactured issues that they use to get their agenda across. That's it. And these media folks help them by asking stupid questions like that. What do you think that's going to do about race relations and stuff? Nobody will be thinking about that unless you guys keep bringing it up. But let's see her answer.
Well, let me say we're going to win, so it's not going to happen.
Oh, really?
But I think that, listen, today is actually, I believe, an anniversary in terms of Dr. King.
Right now, she done went and got that nice ginsu, and she's starting to cut the lettuce. She's starting to cut the lettuce, y'all. All right, she's like, baby, go over there and get me a tomato. I'm about to make a word salad. I need some croutons. She's starting to dice it up. Right now, I'm sitting there like, what are you doing? I'm about to make a salad. I didn't ask for that. I want you to answer the question, not make me a salad. But let's see how this salad goes.
Right. I was just in Selma, and we acknowledged the 59th anniversary of Bloody Sunday.
Bloody Sunday.
I think it's really important that we as Americans
first of all, why is she dragging when she talks, and she always sounds like she's drunk? Always sounds like she's drunk. You know, she got a little bit of the drunk aunt in her all the time. That's all I'm saying. Just a little bit of the drunk aunt all the time. So let's finish hearing her get this out by going round and round that mulberry bush. Because pop goes the weasel.
always embrace our history.
Always embrace the history, baby.
The parts that we're proud of and the parts that we're not proud of, but that we can't forget.
Oh, God.
And we should all agree that we should teach history. We should learn history. If we're
Now, why is she starting to sound like a teenage girl? And like she's twisting her hair. And we should all agree that we should teach history. Like a little kid. Voice going up 8 octaves. And we should always say nothing about her leaks out professionalism or presidentialism. She's horrible. I mean, the way she's answering the question, her body language, her voice, her confidence, all of this is horrible. I see now why they have to keep her hidden.
To ever have an accurate idea of where we want to go and where we don't want to go in the future.
Yeah.
And that means also acknowledging the importance of diversity. It means acknowledging the importance of the fact that everyone should have equal opportunity to compete. And
Everybody already got equal opportunity to compete. It's the outcome issue, okay? And it's the forced diversity. Plus, not to mention, it's you guys' definition or perception of diversity. I mean, I'm thinking, how about you just let the chips fall where they may and allow folks to enjoy each other's differences and personality and stuff without it being shoved down everybody's throat. Manufactured diversity. Diversity for show. That's all it is. Not diversity of thought, but just diversity of folks that have different colors and folks that have different sexual preferences and all of this stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we can all look differently, but does that make us productive? Does that make us be able to do our job? These are things that are more important than this perception of diversity. Not to mention when they talk about equity. I don't want equal outcome if it's not warranted. You can go ahead and say, hey, everybody gets a shot. The Navy SEALs every year open it up. Come on in. You get about 200-300 dudes come in. You know, every dude in his mind thinks he's better than the next man. Watch this. I bet you I ain't ringing no bell. And then a couple minutes later, you can ring my bell, ring my bell. After they get thrown in that water, tied up behind their back, and arms tied, start to drown and they get out that pool, ding-a-ling-a-ling. But they had an opportunity. They had a shot. So I'm okay with everybody having an opportunity, equal opportunity. But these folks want equal outcome, like she mentions here.
and equity.
I see.
And then, of course, inclusion. That, hey, let's look around the room and see who's not here. And did we leave the door open?
And so, anyway, we can, I'm like, look around and see what's not here and see if you're leaving. Hey, did we leave the door open? It's the best they can do. This is the person they done slung out in front of everybody. And it's ridiculous, the fact that you got some people on the left that thinks she's great. They don't really think that. They've been programmed to think that. They've been told to think that. Because just think about this, guys. A month and a half ago, they weren't thinking about her at all. If she was that great, her greatness would have overshadowed Biden. They would have been screaming for chameleon the whole time that Biden was in office. They'd have been going, we want chameleon. We want chameleon. Her greatness should have just, rose to the top. But instead, they were all going, don't even mention this chick. She's horrible. I mean, y'all start talking about she might be the president. It'll take us all. Take us all. Until they had no other choice. Then they manufactured her greatness. None of these voters or Kamala supporters were even thinking about her. And even worse, many of them looked at her negatively. But it goes to show how easily manipulated many folks that vote for these people are. They go from I hate her and I'm rolling with Joe, I don't care if he ain't got no brain cells left, to all of a sudden we love Kamala. No loyalty whatsoever. It's just you will be loyal to what we tell you to be loyal to. You will support what we tell you to support. And you won't even look at the details of how we manipulated all of this to get this person right in front of you without your consent, without you ever voting for this woman. Yeah, you never even had a chance to contemplate or choose. Like, you know what? I wonder who would be better, Kamala or, say, RFK. Oh, no, we don't want those. We don't want those type of choices, which we're about to find out, which leads to what we're going to be talking about. So now, I think the Dems are going to be shocked in November because all of this manufactured hype, I don't think it's real. All of these polls that they've been toying around with, I think this is all, trying to create perception. And the old saying, perception becomes reality. If people start perceiving that everybody's doing it, this is the hippest thing, everybody's on board, then possibly they will follow suit based on the perception. See, so I think, though, that they're going to get a reality check. They're trying to create a perception and a reality that doesn't exist. But I think they're going to get hit with the real reality that folks aren't falling for the chameleon. I think they know she be changing colors and stuff. So check this out, guys. I love when I see stuff like this.
Ask you about your trip traveling across the country, because you were traveling across the country on the way to Chicago.
Hey, look at that, y'all. That's Don Lemon, the guy that said that the greatest threat, I guess, every white man in America suffers from racism, except his white husband. See? Yeah, he's immune. He's immune to all of that racism and stuff like that. So here's Don Lemon, and he went out on the streets because he ain't got a job now. So he got to do some grunt work, go back to, his roots, trying to work his way back up to, the bigger propaganda stage. But he's been hitting the streets lately, asking folks about Trump versus chameleon. Let's see what he discovered.
You were, and we'll talk about that too. You interviewed a lot of people. What are some of the things or trends that surprised you about some of those conversations?
Well, I don't know if it was surprising, but it was certainly eye-opening to hear so many people, even people of color and women, saying that they are going to support Donald Trump.
What? Now, I'm not going to show the whole interview because Don Lemon didn't like it. See, he had to hate on it. He thought he needed to school these people and educate them. And he alluded to that the reason they were supporting Trump because they were ignorant, because Trump promised them stimulus checks, not because they were really feeling the effects of the raggedy Biden administration. And you know what's crazy about that? Even some of these people you're about to hear from, even if they don't know a whole heap about politics, sometimes you just know that you know. Your gut tells you because you're going, something ain't right in the atmosphere. Money ain't right. It ain't flowing. Things just work different. I might can't, eloquently pontificate it. I might not have all the details and the facts, but I do know this. Under Trump, things were different. Yeah. And so, if you're going to base my level of intelligence and knowledge and decision making on, well, you need to go ahead and give me 18 reasons why. Well, you might get me there. But it's strange that Don Lemon would allude to that. And like I said, I'm not going to show you all of it. But he would allude to that throughout this interview, but yet never questions any of the liberal voters who don't even give you enough that these people are giving. These people are giving more answers than what you're about to see. So let's go ahead and check out some of the folks he ran into on the street.
I'm not quite sure that the polls are accurate as it relates to the tightening of the polls and who's going to support who.
So wait, you telling me, Don Lemon, that by going to the streets, you trying to get yourself some better insight into what's really going on? Sometimes the polls don't tell it all. Sometimes you got to get down and dirty. Sometimes you got to go out to the streets, and then you will start seeing folks going, man, I ain't feeling chameleon. I'm going to let y'all know. Throughout the day, I drive so much. All over Ohio, for the most part. All over mid to northern Ohio and Pennsylvania and West Virginia. I'm all over the place. You know what I see? Tons and tons of Trump Vance signs everywhere. Tons of them. When Trump was running against crooked Hillary, and they were talking about Hillary's way ahead in the polls. And I'm thinking, you see all these Trump signs everywhere? Do you see all these people showing up to these rallies? I don't know. I think they're going to be surprised on voting day. And same thing with this. I ride around, and I think out of all the days I've been riding, I saw on one day a Kamala and Vance sign. I couldn't believe it. Almost had to stop and take a picture. Like, whoa, stop the press. Everybody, I don't care if I'm blocking traffic. This right here is an anomaly. I'm going in for a closer look. Somebody actually supports it. Almost stopped and took a picture. So when I see things like that, and yet you hear them getting all excited about Kamala, I'm going, You might want to temper your excitement and enthusiasm, especially when you go out and ask real people like this.
Feel about the election?
I'm going for Trump. I feel like every time they don't want somebody who is good for us to win, they throw somebody black in our face thinking that's going to like make us vote for the black person.
That's right. I don't care how she pontificated that. It didn't have to come out like, well, actually, I'm glad that you asked. On one hand, I feel that Trump would be the better candidate. You ain't got to come out like that. I'm voting for Trump. You can say it just like that. And I love it the same. She just broke that mess down. And she's right. Yeah, they want all us brothers and minorities to vote for Chameleon because she's black. But don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. Unless you're on the left, then you can bring it up. You can talk about her blackness all you want and tell everybody you better vote for her if you are a person of color, because she's the person of color. But then when you are on the right and you say, well, wait a minute. Well, what color is she? What nationality? Well, you know what? You can't be bringing up a race. That's inappropriate. So this woman is hip to the game. Yeah, she's hip to the hot sauce in the purse. And if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And all of that. No, I've been smoking weed. And she's hip to all of that. What about this lady?
Vote for Obama because he was black. I don't want to vote for her because she's the first black woman to run for president or to win.
So maybe the fake news needs to stop emphasizing that and sending out their gatekeepers and their black commentators to sit back and try to shame black people into doing it. The more you try to manipulate folks, they're going to see now, you're going to make me, maybe I might have been on the edge, but y'all keep trying to shove it down my throat and say, you better do it because she's black. And I don't like that. And another thing I don't like, that's for the black people. They try to, manipulate us because they're saying we got to vote our color and our race and all of that stuff. But then there's another manipulation that you're about to see in a second coming from the left too, that try to shame us into voting for Chameleon. But let's finish this. Here we go.
I don't vote. Well, I want Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I want Donald Trump.
Why do you apologize?
Well, I know nobody likes him, but we had good time.
No, sweetie. We all love Trump. Don't be fooled by the media. Once again, they try to create perception that Trump's unpopular. Do you think that man's unpopular? Have you seen the thousands and thousands of people that show up to watch and listen to Trump? So they're there. I don't know. You might be watching a smidge too much of fake news.
I'm with Donald Trump.
I'm running for Trump, so.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just always been a fan of his, so that's what I'm running for.
Now get out my face,
Trump. I used to live in Virginia. I saw the bad side of it, but really moving to Cleveland, but I saw the other side of it.
Cleveland?
I'm supporting Trump.
Because?
Because it has to change. It has to change. And now I vote more for what fits me better as a person rather than voting for the black person.
Ooh, girl, I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. Good for you. And it's gonna feel real good when we get some money. Gonna make it right. So now, let's see on the other side.
I'm voting for the first woman, so.
What do you think about Kamala Harris?
I think they say she's phony and fake, you know what I'm saying?
Phony and fake.
Like Trump saying, what are you, So I'm not feeling her. People get mad about it, I'm just not feeling her.
I don't like her the way she speaks, the giddiness, the laughing. Everything's a joke, and it's not a joke. We're in trouble. I'm going for Trump. Kamala was on Biden's team, and I don't like Biden. Gas wasn't this high when Trump was our president. Food wasn't this high.
See, y'all think she dumb just because she might use a little broken English, a little ebonics, but she knows the basics. The reality is, look, I can't get into all the details. I'm not a politician. I'm not a poli-sci major, but I do know this. I can count. I can look at gas prices and say, hey, wait a minute. I don't think we're going out tonight, y'all. What? Why not? You see the gas prices? Y'all better go get a skateboard. So these folks know something is going on. Yeah. So they try to make it seem as if folks that vote for Trump is doing it, and Donald Trump was talking about for nostalgia. Because they're still reminiscing about Trump and his glory days when all the black folks loved him. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Y'all have spent the last 8 years trying to separate those memories from every minority who once loved Trump. There's a lot of black people out there that don't even realize why they hate Trump to this day when once they loved Trump, and it's due to the media constantly bombarding everybody with negative information about Trump. So it's not that. It's not that. Folks ain't out there just like, man, I have no idea that they've been calling Trump a racist, white nationalist, xenophobe, homophobe, and all these folks. I had no idea. In my mind, Trump is still big money time Trump, baby. Everybody knows that it's not a popular thing to get out there and be talking about I'm supporting Trump. So these people know what's the deal. They're just able to make their own decisions. All right, now wait a minute. Speaking of decisions, there we go. Make sure I ain't suffering from some technical difficulties. I ain't got no crew. I'm sorry to tell y'all that. I ain't got no lighting crew and all that stuff. It's just me and my one-man show. All right, so now let's move to the other side and see what the folks on the left are thinking.
I'm going for Trump.
Kamala, what do you think? Trump or Kamala Harris?
Oh, God, it's Kamala, definitely.
Yes?
1,000%.
Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite thing Kamala's done in the last 4 years?
Honestly? Actually, don't use this.
No, use that. Use that. Put that man on the internets for the rest of his life. Yes, use it. I want that man to one day look back and say, boy, did I look dumb. Yeah, I said it confidently, too. Oh, man, Kamala, baby. Confidently. And then when he was called to the carpet, this is what they don't anticipate. They don't anticipate somebody saying, why? Oh, shoot, you want it? Oh, man, okay. Don't put this on the air. Nope, too late. We're all enjoying it right now. We're laughing at you.
Oh, Kamala. Yeah, Kamala.
Kamala, what?
Well, she's honestly, I don't know.
Oh, just a smile. So wait a minute. All right, they start off so confident. Oh, Kamala. I love it. I love it when they start off like that. What? Like that's a stupid question. Why would you even ask me, Kamala? Oh yeah. Why do you say that? You know what? I don't really even. But you know what? And listen to their conclusion.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not super knowledgeable, so I can't really speak too much on it because Trump sucks.
There you go.
Same thing.
I will tell you.
Same thing. Trump sucks. You know what? So basically, I'm not voting for Kamala. I'm voting against Trump. That's my whole reason. I don't care nothing about their policies. I don't even require their policies to be mentioned, none of that stuff. I'm not able to assess their current work. I'm not able to sit back and say, wow, they're in charge of everything right now and things suck. Maybe those were college students and they're not feeling it right now because they have no responsibilities. But folks out there in the real world are going, man, my pockets are feeling it. So not only are people out there in the streets, I think, going to surprise the Democrats on voting day. But I think a lot of Democrats that normally would, I would say, support Kamala, I think they're going to flip-flop. I think a lot of them are going to walk away, especially with this new alliance and coalition that's being formed. Even some moderate Democrats like this guy is able to at least recognize that, hey, maybe it ain't so bad on the right. Maybe they're not all white nationalists, xenophobe, homophobes. Check this out, guys. He's a Democrat politician who was running for president.
I've said it before. I went to a Donald Trump rally when I was campaigning in New Hampshire.
And what happened?
Back in the way.
And I'm sure, soon as you got there, my friend, let's see here. Soon as you pulled up, yeah, man. That's right. It's me, Bob, the stereotypical white nationalist Trump supporter man. That's right, man. I remember he showed up at all our rallies. And I said, listen here, man. You part of the white nationalist crew? He said, nah, man, I'm just a Democrat. Won't come in and see what's happening. I said, listen here, man. First of all, before you come in here, you got to be right. And to be right, you got to be white. Secondly, I want to hear you go, yeehaw. Now, if you could do that right, and you're white, you can come in tonight. That's simple, man. I'm sure that's what he ran into, y'all. But let's see what he thinks he ran into. Let's see. Here we go.
Winter of 23.
Yeah.
And I was met with handshakes and friendship and hospitality and decency. I
And you should be a Republican.
I should be a Republican.
Yeah, you should be. Because your own party dissed you. Your own party was like, look, man, we don't really believe in this democracy mess y'all talking about, okay? All right, you can't run against Creepy Sleepy. You understand? I don't care all the money you wasted. I don't care all that stuff. We ain't gonna let it happen. Now, if I'm a Democrat and my own party is sabotaging me, you gotta be stupid to stick with that party. Same thing like Bernie Sanders. They stuck it to him twice, but he's still hanging on. Yeah, he's like, well, I'm a Democrat forever. Yeah. Their own party can sabotage their own folks, and they'll still stay with them for the most part. That guy right there, I mean, I heard him speak in the past, and I'm like, this guy would have given Joe Biden a run for his money. He was intelligent. He didn't seem too radical, any of that stuff. But did they let him? Did they let him compete? Nope. Just like they didn't let Robert Kennedy speak or compete either. So, guys, not the Rainbow Coalition. Oh, man. However, what we got, though, is a, what did I say? Wait, I almost forgot. Not the Rainbow Coalition.
I should be a Republican.
We got the real coalition. So here we go, y'all.
I read that Elon Musk said that he would accept a position in your cabinet. Would that have to do with artificial intelligence?
So Elon and I have a great relationship. He's great. He is a totally unusual character. Do you know Elon?
I don't.
He's great. And he's smart. And we have to cherish our geniuses. You know, we don't have too many of them, right? But he is a brilliant guy. And what he really would like to do is get involved in cutting some of the fat. And he does know how to do it.
Yep, I want Elon Musk to come out and get a lightsaber. Yeah. And go to work on cutting that fat. I want him to come in like cutting all kind of fat. I want him to get rid of all of these bureaucrats that just be sitting up in that bad boy, chilling, sabotaging stuff, not getting nothing done, taking forever to get stuff done. Now, look at what Elon has done with X. He went in there and you got folks making videos about their day. I come in at 8:30, sometime 9. It's up to us. And then, first thing we all do is we go down to the cafe and we have coffee. And then, sometimes we get massages. And then we come upstairs, we check our emails. But we don't want to wear ourselves out by checking emails. And then he cut all those folks. He was like, y'all got to go. We don't need all of these folks to do this. We don't need a whole department to do censorship. We don't need all of this quality control, this, that, and this and that. Y'all gone. I got to streamline things. Make it run more proficient. None of the extra stuff. So I think Elon would be good at that. And see, the thing about Trump is he's allowing folks, or he's suggesting that these people come in and stay in their lane. Find out what they're good at and put them in that spot. Don't allow them to just run all over the government and have their hands in everything. Say, what is your niche? What are you good at? How can I use your talents? That's what you need to do. Go in and do an analysis, break this mess down, see how we can cut this down, see what we don't need, and get rid of it. Let's continue.
And he loves the country. It's just an amazing thing. We had a conversation the other day. Yeah, he wants to be involved. Now, look, he's running big businesses and all that, so he can't really, I don't think he'd be cabinet. I'd put him in the cabinet, absolutely, but I don't know how he could do that with all the things he's got going.
Well, I heard on the Benny Johnson show that he responded to this and said that, hey, I'm ready to serve. Now, I don't know how that man sleeps. He's running all kind of businesses. I don't know his schedule, yet he got time to tweet all the time. This man must not sleep. He might be a cyborg. He might be AI walking around, honestly. But if he's talking about I'm ready to serve, I'm like, I want to see how you're going to do that. And run X and run Tesla and build rockets. And man, either that or he got a great team working under him. But now, let's continue because Trump threw it out there.
But he can sort of, as the expression goes, consult with the country and give you some very good ideas. Like on AI, nobody knows more about it than Elon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big big thing. And he said it's very important. I mean, it's very important for the country. If we don't do it, China's going to do it, or somebody else, but most likely China.
Bingo.
And China is working right now to develop massive electricity, a flood of electricity.
And what are we doing, Trump? What are we doing? See, these are the things that keep me up at night. Now, it's not racism and equity and diversity and stuff like that. It's not those things. It's what are our enemies planning and what are they doing? What are they focused on? What are their priorities? Do you think it's gender neutral bathrooms over in China and Russia and stuff? You think that's what it is? You think it's equity? You think it's DEI, diversity and stuff like that? You think it's globalism? You think it's transgender rights? You think it's abortion? You think it's all of those things? Huh? Do you think those are the things they're focusing on? Those are the things that they enjoy watching us focus on, while they focus on how can we take over the whole world, pinky. So what are our politicians doing?
Massive flood of electricity. And we don't, because we have people that they're not even thinking about that.
Yeah.
And you have to.
They're not thinking about that? You mean to tell me Kamala Harris and all of her cackling, all of her running around talking about day one, I'm going to do this and this. You're telling me they're not stopping and say, hey, how can we stay ahead of our enemies? How can we stop our enemies from forming coalitions? How can we do that? How are we able to beat them to the punch? They're not focused on that. They're focused on how can we stay in power? How can we become more globalistic? How can we bring in more illegal immigrants? How can we go ahead and form a uniparty? How can we go ahead and co-opt every, branch that we haven't gotten our knuckles in? How can we do that? This thing right here is a piece of garbage. But anyway, let's continue.
We have to win this election. This election is going, November 5th will be the most important day, in my opinion, in the history of our country. Because if our country goes the wrong way with this election, I think this country is doomed.
So what you're telling me, Trump, is that we got to put together a real coalition. We got to put together a dream team. So let me think. Elon Musk went out there and bought Twitter. He's been digging into the left. That's why they hate him. See, I got a rule of thumb. Whenever the liberal media and the Democrats hate you, you're probably doing the right thing. You're probably doing the right thing. So they hate him. And he got a whole bunch of people who follow him on X. And he tweets things that hurts the Democrats. And they're talking about they need to censor him, shut him up and all this stuff. And globalists hate him. That's a good thing. That's a good thing when I start seeing folks in the European Union and all of those leaders over there talking about you better do what we say, even though you're an American-based company and we have no jurisdiction over you and we don't believe in freedom of speech and technically we can't tell you what to do, but you better do what we say because we don't like you saying things or allowing stuff to be said on your platform that hurts or exposes us. And I'm going, good. So Elon Musk, he sounds like he's on board. And what else, Trump? Because see, remember the last time you were talking about this when you ran for president, you put together a team, but there was some glitches, man. There were some problems. What went wrong? Why weren't you able to put together the dream team last time, Trump?
I didn't know anybody in Washington. I was a New York person. I wasn't like a Washington, D.C. person. And all of a sudden I'm president and I'm driving down Pennsylvania Avenue with more police and motorcycles and military than I've ever seen before in my life. I said to my wife, do you believe this? I'm president. But I didn't know anybody in Washington. And I had to rely on people to give me names. And many were really good. I mean, Bob Lighthizer. I had great trade people. I had some great people.
Whoa. So just like I always assumed, Trump coming in there, once again, I think that was the appeal. Trump, he had to deal with the swamp, but he wasn't a part of the swamp. He had to, play the game that they created, play by the rules that they set up, but he never was in the club. So when he became president, of course, he's going to have to rely on a lot of people and trust that they mean well. But in hindsight, we see a lot of folks got slid in that started off appearing to be good and ended up sticking him in the back. Now, I'm not looking back, them stealing that last has given Trump 4 years to put together some things. And some other players have developed. I think everything is about timing. Some of the players right now were not on board after Trump lost after he lost in 2020. Yeah, some of these players were not, on board. This team couldn't have been formed back then. So sometimes, things happen for a reason. But now that Trump is more wiser, what do you think now, Trump?
But I also picked people that, in retrospect, I wouldn't have picked. But now I know the smart ones, the dumb ones, the weak ones, the solid ones, the ones like you. I know the people. I know everybody, sort of like everybody. And we're going to have a great government. I didn't know I had to rely on people I'd ask, I don't want to use names because I don't want to embarrass, they're not bad people, but I'd ask people that were rhinos, who do you recommend for such and such a position? All important positions. And they'd recommend some people that were rhinos or something.
So this has given us time to flush out the rhinos, to take a step back, look at everything and say, okay, who are the key pieces to turn this whole thing around? Not to mention, they are more afraid of Trump now than they were back then because they know he's hip to the game. They know he's going to be able to block some of the crap that they did to him the first time, like sending the FBI in to sabotage Michael Flynn on day one. Michael Flynn up in there just putting his boxes down and turn around and the FBI's right there. What are you guys doing here? Oh, nothing. What you up to? Well, I'm setting up my office. Can I help you? Oh, no, I mean, we just want to hang out with you, Mike. That's it. And set him up. Those are little things that Trump is hip to now. Certain people.
Okay, I found this on the web for Does the Little Things. Check it out.
What is this? What is this? I always feel like somebody's watching me. So, Siri, I don't need you right now. Thank you. I'll call you if I need you. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So they know, though, that Trump, this time around, would be hit. He would bring in people to accomplish his goal and agenda that won't be sabotaging him. He's more wise now. He knows the game. And to them, he's more dangerous because they don't have access to folks that they could slide in and sabotage him. Folks be leaking stuff. I think right now they know that if he gets in, he's going to plug all of those leaks up front so that this way, all of the agencies and folks that were able to get their hands involved early won't be able to do that. Now, my suggestion is on day one, he just go ahead and stop all activity with the FBI, the CIA, all of these Homeland Security to a degree. Keep the folks on, just looking at the monitors and making sure things are, but the upper echelons, get them out of there. Shut them down. I don't want no surveillance. I don't want them listening in on nothing. I don't want none of that. I hope that he has his team in place so soon as they swear him in, he's sticking his folks in there and he's like, thank you, pack up your stuff, let's go. We can't run the risk of another group of FBI agents. We're going to stop him, aren't we? He's not going to win, is he? We can't have another big for nothing James Comey talking about, hey, I knew they were in disarray, so I just thought, hey, I'm going to send a couple agents over there. We need to stop that mess up front. Now let's continue though, because Trump's being honest and talking about that, hey, I made a mistake earlier in some of these folks.
Or weak or not good.
But guys, enter another one of the players, Kennedy.
So my last question, what happens now? You had this kind of amazing announcement with Donald Trump on Friday. It's now Monday, I think, which is 3 days ago. How do you spend from here until Election Day?
I'm going to work to get him elected. And I'm working with the campaign. We're working on policy issues together. I've been asked to go onto the transition team and, to help pick the people who will be running the government. And I'm looking forward to that.
Now, the thing about Kennedy, even though I don't agree with all of his policies, like I said, what Trump is doing is brilliant. He's bringing in somebody who is across the aisle, but Kennedy has a sincere heart. That's what I look at. He might not have all the policies and the same beliefs that I have as a conservative, but I know this guy really has a good heart. It's something about him. It's sincere and genuine. In his speech, he won me over big time because he identified the Democrat Party accurately. He was able to see them just like I see them. And you got to have a pure heart to be able to see their corruption, their games, and their silliness. And so when he gave that speech, which I'm still yet to go ahead and break down and dissect, but I'm going to do it. I sat back and I said, you know what? This guy has a sincere heart. And wherever you put him in, if he stays in his lane, he's going to do the right thing. And Trump is building those type of networks and bridges. And all of those voters and supporters of him that see that, yeah, he has a sincere heart. He means well. He loves his country. I think just based on that trust they have with him, they will also trust that when he says, come over and support this, especially compared to the party that sabotaged the folks that they wanted to vote for. There's no way if I'm if I'm a Robert Kennedy supporter, I'm gonna go, well, now that he's dropping out, I'm gonna go ahead and support the party that made it like hell for this dude to even be on the ballot. No way that I would support that. All they did is reveal to all of those voters and supporters that they don't really believe in democracy. So I would have said, I'm going, just like the Bernie bros who bounced when they sabotaged Bernie. So yeah, man, it looks like Trump is building a coalition, y'all. Here we go.
You know, President Trump, to his credit, put out a hand, shook his hand and said, let's do this. Let's engage on ideas that matter. Let's engage on policies that matter. We don't have to agree on everything. This is not us being absorbed into the Trump camp by any measure. This is a partnership. This is a meeting of the minds with strong boundaries and expectations.
Here we go. Strong boundaries and expectations. I love it. You know, make it nice, plain and clear. Everybody got a job to do. All right, ready, huddle up and break. Do what you got to do. And see, what I'm loving about this is bringing in, you know, some fresh ideas. It's bringing in a whole different group of voters. And it's bringing in some diversity. Not diversity because of Asian and a black, but of thought. And I appreciate that. Let's continue, though, because it's not over. It's not over. We got more. Oh, yeah. This is the reason why the chameleon needs to be stopped, y'all. And there's no one better to break it down than this man right here.
It's like watching A Clockwork Orange. I'm like this, Vivek, watching what's coming out, whether it's raising the rate on corporate taxes or going up to, 45%, close to, on capital gains.
Sounds
for
like
certain
communism.
Individuals. It's a lot of populism, but most people that defend it say, she doesn't really mean it.
Now, see, that's the dumb part. That's the attitude that will land us in some communism. That is the attitude or response that will end us up in socialism, globalism, and all of that. Thinking fat meat don't have grease until your feet start tingling in the middle of the night. There you go. So hearing all of these signs of communist policies and folks going, that'll never happen. She wouldn't go that far, would she? I'm still going to vote for her. I mean, now, you know what? They're just trying to scare us. That's just right-wing rhetoric. And I'm thinking, okay, Democrats are to the point where they don't even hide their communist, socialist ideas and policies. And y'all still don't see the writing on the wall? Y'all still think for some reason they're joking? You still think at some point they're going to say, you know what? We got enough illegal immigrants. Let's stop this. This is not, we shouldn't be trying to just, you think at some point they're going to say, you know what, trying to listen in and go out there and make sure that we censor all of our citizens. It's just not right. Let's just go ahead and stop. You know, all of the stuff we've been doing, it's just not right. Let's self-regulate. If you think they're going to do that, you're naive. If you think these communistic ideas and policies are just going to self-correct, or you think they're bluffing, you are naive. We knew they weren't bluffing when Joe Biden got up there on that debate stage. Said, if I was them, I'd tell him to surge the border. I mean, did people think that he was just joking? What happened? They surged the border. I knew right then. I'm like, oh, our border's about to be blown out, and it's blew out. So this guy has a point, and this is how Democrat voters think oftentimes. They will overlook obvious red flags from their side right in their face. Just overlook it. Like all the black people who voted for Biden after he blatantly just said, if you don't know you're voting for her by now, then you ain't black. Right in their face. Right in their face, and they're like, he's just Biden, he's so silly. I'm going to let that slide. Let Trump do that. Trump mentioned black jobs. What? What you mean black jobs? But Biden says, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And they go, he's so silly. Boy. So this guy got a point. Vivek, tell us how serious this is.
It'll never happen.
Yeah, so that's the irony here, Joe. And first of all, I agree with my friends at the Washington Post who observed that if you don't want your opponent to tag you as a communist, then maybe your first policy should not be a bunch of price controls in the United States.
Yeah, but the Democrats don't think like that. Especially Chameleon. She don't care. I thought, just put something together for me. I ain't got time. Don't bore me with the details. So, yep, they walk right into it. I mean, they already know that we think that they are globalists, they're communists and all of that stuff. And what do? They come out with a policy that we go, didn't we tell y'all? Didn't we tell y'all? So let's see what else he's going to do and expose about this.
We've seen price controls fail in every other major country that's tried it. Argentina, Venezuela, under Hugo Chavez, under Nicolas Maduro. The irony in Venezuela is that you actually saw undernourishment increase tenfold over the same period where they enacted price controls in the food industry, in the grocery industry.
So wait, you're telling me then, Vivek, that we have historical documentation of what happens when you do what she's suggesting to be done? And yet their voters, now see, this is what happens. This is how you create sheep. You know, you start removing education. You don't talk about things like that. You don't focus on things like that in the history. So over time, folks will repeat history because they're far removed from it and they're not taught about it. Have no idea the impacts of this. Like I used to tell y'all, you know, during my show, we grew up during a time where they talked against communism. I didn't remember much in history and all that social studies, but they would be talking about the difference between our government and Russia and China, and communism is not right, and this and that, and stay away from it. And I, okay, all right, that's something about stay away from communism. That's all I remember. That's all I remember. Now, you know, it's like people are flirting with it. I mean, a politician could come out and talk about I'm a socialist and nobody even blinks an eye. So people are more willing to walk right into history because they're ignorant. You know, they're ignorant. They didn't forget about it. Life doesn't become too grand. They can't imagine our leaders doing something like this that will drag us into what he's describing. All of that history showing what happens. And folks are going, but this time, everybody thinks they're better than the next man. Everybody thinks they have the solution to whereas everybody else failed. And they're going, now look, I know that 1 million people jumped off of the Empire State Building and they all splatted and died. But watch what I do. I'm going to tuck and roll right at the last second. Stick the landing. Whoop. I'll be the only man who free dived off of the Empire State Building and didn't die after 1 million of them did. So now we got all this historical data and folks are going, yay, as she gets up there and touts that in public. We're going after them and price gouging and they go, yay, have no idea because they're ignorant. Let's continue.
Yeah, that's exactly what they've proposed here. And I do think that the fact that this was her signature economic unveiling says a lot about where her vision actually is.
Yep.
To borrow Tim Walz's expression, Joe, if I may, it is just plain weird for them to focus even on the grocery sector if they were going to implement price controls. Because this is a sector in which you look at the profit margins of Kroger or Albertsons.
All of that.
You're looking at 2%, 1% profit margins. I saw that interview that Elizabeth Warren did with you, and I respectfully disagree with her. But she even brought up examples like Kraft Heinz or Cal-Maine. The reality is their profit margins are lower today than they were in 2015 to 2016.
See what you get when you're informed. You don't fall for the lies and the propaganda. But it's remarkable that she would lead in on a policy like that, right in the face of everybody. I mean, she's telegraphing it. She's like, yep, I'm about to throw the right hook, and I want you to know it's coming. That's right, I'm going to do it in slow motion. Yeah, deal with it. Deal with it. So they come out with that garbage right there, and they're relying on their very low IQ voter base to go, yay, that sounds good when you say you're going after big old mean faceless corporations, sticking it to the man, right? And they're going, yeah, we're sticking it to the man. Do you believe they fell for that? I can't believe it worked. I can't believe it worked. They go, shh, here they come, here they come. I thought she's brat, and yeah, everybody. So finish dishing them out some real truth, Vivek.
So yes, it is a just plain weird fixation.
It is. Well, communism, but wait a minute. We got some rhinos, y'all. We got some rhinos out there that's trying to do what the Democrats be using race to do to black folks. See, when they talk about you need to vote for Chameleon because she's a woman of color and she was an AKA and she was all of this stuff, all that bull crap. Well, when it come down to Republicans and patriots, then they send out the rhinos. They send out the never Trumpers. And their job is to do that to folks that might be, conservatives, but don't like Trump. And the goal is to shame them by saying, if you vote for Trump, we got to question your patriotism. Now, you say you love the Constitution, don't you? Y'all always talking about the flag. Y'all always talking about the country. Y'all love the country. Well, if you vote for him, I got to question how much you really love the country. So check out these rhinos, y'all.
This isn't a normal election. All this stuff we talk about, inflation, the economy, that's not what this race is going to be about. It's not what 22 is about. This race is about...
Now, he's from the Southern Law, whatever, Merjigger, and he's on CNN, and he's going to bump heads with Scott right here. Okay, because his position is, look, hold your breath and vote for the communist over Trump. That's how bad Trump is.
About one thing, Donald Trump, and what he's doing to America. And it's going to be a referendum on Trump. And when you say these things, you have to come out and support Harris. It's a binary choice.
You have to come out and support Harris. It's a binary choice. What is this man saying? Now, of course, once again, they bring on these so-called Republicans to try to attack or shame Republicans that might be a little bit ignorant or on the fence. Because if you are a conservative or Republican, you're watching CNN for real information, you're probably on the fence anyway. You're probably, I watch this for pure entertainment and also to know what the enemy's up to. Okay. So that more Republicans don't have to do it. They can just watch Kevin's Corner and see what these idiots are up to. But nonetheless, this guy's position is Trump's so evil that y'all should go out and vote for Chameleon. And guess what he bases this on?
These two people to be president. My old client, Chris Christie. He has to endorse Harris.
But will he? I mean, these are all people we're waiting. I mean,
I don't understand intellectually or morally how you cannot.
I don't understand intellectually or morally why you cannot. So now he's doing what we do, but we're justified in doing it because their voters have no idea why they're voting for Kamala Harris. So we're going, look, if you can't justify it intellectually or morally, then you are a low IQ voter. But I can tell you a plethora of reasons why I can justify voting for Trump intellectually and morally. Okay? And I can also point out all of the moral deficiencies in Chameleon Harris and the whole Democrat Party, which some of these folks who left the Democrat Party left them because of that. So let's finish hearing this guy's argument because he's trying to say, you know what, you got to be dumb, you got to be morally bankrupt, and you got to be non-patriotic to vote for Donald Trump.
In New Hampshire, used to be all over the place, making a moral case against Trump. He has endorsed him.
I think Katie's point is the right one. Why would any Republican who believes in any of the old or new tenets of the Republican Party vote for Kamala Harris? She's going to pack the court. Remember, her voting record was as the most liberal senator. Her platform for president was as liberal or to the left of Bernie Sanders. Why would any Republican, how could they possibly reach the conclusion that by voting?
Because either they're suffering from a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome, or they're completely ignorant to the danger that the Harris administration would pose to the country, or they're paid operatives. They are sellouts. There is some benefit as a rhino that they're getting, that they're willing to sell out our country to a radical regime. Something in it for them. Maybe they're not looking at the future. Maybe they're like, I know this woman would destroy the country overnight. But you know what? I probably ain't got a lot of time on earth. I'm going to cash in on this thing. And all the people left behind after I kick the bucket will have to deal with the country the way it is. Yeah, 20, 30 years from now, when we're all in suit lines or whatever, and communism is the main, whatever, and they're gone. They're gone then. They enjoyed whatever benefit they got for getting out there and promoting this mess and telling folks, y'all should vote for Kamala Harris. Now, to do this as a so-called Republican, you have to assume that Republican voters are just as ignorant as Democrat voters. But surprise, we're not. We're not dumb. We're not going to sit back and listen to a guy like this and go, you know what, he got a point. If he said we should, we're going, are you kidding me? So Scott is going to have to ask this man some questions.
For this somehow returns us to the conservative way. It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. The reason you would vote for it is because all the stuff that we used to say, the character counts.
We used to say, first of all, once again, we got Sylvester the cat here. So now what is he doing? Let's get emotional. He's going, you know what? Oh, yeah. I'm emotional. He's going Carl Thomas on the show. He's going Ralph Tresvant on us. You need a man with sensitivity. Someone like me. I'm not that sensitive. So now here he is, going all emotional. He said, you know what this is? This is all about what again?
You would vote for it is because all the stuff that we used to say, the character counts, the character is destiny, that you believe in the Constitution.
See, once again, appealing to your heartstrings, all the stuff that everybody used to say, character counts, and that,
if you really believe that, and they weren't marketing slogans, there's only one candidate that supports that.
Well, then that just changed my vote right there. Because I believe in it, and this guy said if you believe in it, only one candidate supports that. Now, let's go ahead and hear that again, because I don't want to misquote this man or destroy him based on...
So the reason you would vote for it is because all the stuff that we used to say, the character counts, the character is destiny.
Right. Okay, so Kamala Harris's character is better than Trump's. She's better than him. All of the shenanigans that this chick's been in, all of the stuff that she's gone through, all of the flip-flopping, all of the lying, all of the manipulation... This is a true rhino right here. This guy is built to deceive. He is 100% deceptive. He is planted there to subvert conservative voters. That's what he's there. So now he's appealing to, well, if you really believe in the principles of conservatism, there's only one person. But the problem with that argument is we see no results. We don't see any of those characteristics leaking out of Kamala Harris. And the stuff that you're assigning to Trump, I'm going, I don't see it. You are throwing negative things onto Trump that I'm going, I don't see it.
That you believe in the Constitution?
The Constitution.
That, if you really believe that...
Yeah, if you really believe in the Constitution that the Democrats wipe their butt with every single day, the Constitution that they care nothing about, the Constitution that they say, man, get this mess out my face. Let's get Trump off the ballot. Let's throw this man in jail. Let's pack the courts. Let's go ahead and get rid of the filibuster. That Constitution? Huh.
They weren't marketing slogans. There's only one candidate that supports that.
And that's what Jeff Duncan was saying. I agree with that. That's what he was saying. Jeff Duncan was saying that. When he gave his speech, that's what he was saying. He was saying, guess what? I don't necessarily agree with the Democratic Party. I am not a Democrat, but I do know that President Trump, former President Trump, does not believe in the rule of law.
What is this? Where did they get this from, y'all? I do know President Trump does not believe in the rule of law. What laws did he just blow through? What laws did he say I don't care about? What laws didn't he honor? What laws does he not support? This kills me. Hey, this woman just said whoever gave the speech that was questioning everybody's patriotism that might vote for Trump over Kamala Harris, this man was saying Trump don't believe in the rule of law. And I'm saying, y'all just say it. And y'all think we're Democrat voters. Y'all think we're dumb. Y'all think we're not able to sit back and go, Trump was all about the law. You guys ran straight over every bit of the rule of law as you allowed folks to destroy neighborhoods and burn down stuff and attack folks and called it mostly peaceful protests. You're talking about the rule of law as you guys weaponize the FBI, the DOJ, all of that to listen in on American citizens, to violate their civil liberties, all of that crap. And here this chick is talking about, he knows that Trump don't believe in the rule of law. And I'm saying he's trying to reestablish it because you guys ran all over it. What else did he say, lady, in his speech?
So do I vote for someone who doesn't believe in the rule of law, or do I vote for someone who doesn't want the same policies?
I just there's something in his speech that actually hit. And by the way, he's our colleague, and I'm not. It's not a personal attack, but he said he sort of inferred that if you don't vote for Harris, you're not a patriot.
I agree with that.
And I have to tell you how profoundly poorly that's going to hit a lot of Republican ears. Look, there.
Oh yes, that mess bounced off of my ear immediately. The fact that you would even be at the DNC convention giving a speech lets me know where you are. Anna Navarro, Adam Singlish, anybody who shows up as a fixture on CNN as a Republican, not to debate like him, but here you are as a contributor after you've been, kind of shuffled out of the Republican Party, and all of a sudden, here you are, you're supposed to be swaying us, you're supposed to be weighing in about Trump. I'm going, no, that's your only gig. Yeah, there it is. You guys right now are reduced to having to, suckle off of the teat of the Democrat, party by being Trump haters. So now, I guess we're not patriots, y'all.
Plenty of Republican voters who are lukewarm on Trump. Maybe they wish he hadn't run again, whatever. But to be told that your choice is, your patriotism is dependent upon your choice just because you prefer a Republican government. I thought that was a poor argument. I thought that was a poor argument.
You prefer someone who didn't try to overthrow the government.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the reasons, y'all. Y'all ready for the reasons why we should go ahead and support Chameleon, who is a communist, the cool lady. Here's the reasons we should support her over Trump. This is how dumb he wants us to be.
You're saying you're not an American if you vote for Harris.
I've never heard anyone say that.
Now you hear that lie? I mean, y'all the ones that saying you're not an American if you don't vote for Harris. Have you ever said that? I never heard that. I've never said that. That's not something that you ever hear being circulated around in conservatives' corners. You're not an American if you vote for Harris. I think she just straight pulled that out of her butt. Just straight up said that. I think that what we say is you're dumb. That's it. You are dumb and ignorant. You have a low voter IQ. You're being manipulated if you vote for Harris. But we never said you're not an American. But nonetheless, here's her reasonings, because see, now all of a sudden she's going to try to flip it back on. Y'all be doing it too. And I'm thinking, no, we don't.
Many of them say that.
All the time. Look at all of them. I'm going, no, we don't. That's not, trust me, I think I would have heard somebody by now say that. But hey, let's go ahead.
People were literally questioning us because we wanted to wear our own flag at the Democratic National Convention, talking about when did they start loving America.
Well, that's a good point. Now, we never said you weren't an American. We just think you're a dumb one. We think you're unpatriotic American because you talk about, the America sucks and this and that. And then when you want to try to appear to be more appealing to Midwesterns and stuff, then all of a sudden, patriotism. We're the ones that love America now all of a sudden. But once we win, we'll show you how much we love America by destroying all of its institutions. But let's continue.
From the day I was born, here's the thing. He's not saying that you're not a patriot if you vote for Donald Trump. He's not saying that. This is my interpretation of it.
Give it your
He's saying, I love this country beyond any one person. And somebody who tried to overthrow our election, somebody who didn't stop for hours. Because I know.
See, there it is. There it is. Once again, these are the principles. These are the points that they're trying to throw out there. Like, we don't know what really took place on J6. They're relying on Republicans that just rolled out of bed. They haven't been listening to nothing, haven't been following nothing. And they're just going, I'm really on the fence about who I'm going to vote for today. I thought, what? J6? Oh, wait a minute. What happened there? Trump did what? He tried to overthrow the government. Well, I can't vote for that guy. That's not patriotic. We all know the game. We all know that you guys are using that for garbage. I did video after video on it. But yet they're still throwing it out there. They're still using that. And listen to Scott's reaction to it, which I appreciated.
I'm pretty sure we agree on this because we've talked about this even on air. When an insurrection was happening at the Capitol, when you support someone who has done that is not patriotic. And then when you have that be your party's nominee, sometimes you gotta call a spade a spade.
Boy, I tell you, I would love to be on that show right about now. When she just threw all of that mess out there, I'd be going, really? I'm not going to do it here because I want to get through this. But you already know, I got so many references of why the whole J6 thing was complete garbage that in about 3 or 4 minutes, I would rip her argument to shreds. Rip it. I bet you wanna see me rip it, wanna see me right. Give me just a minute of your time tonight. We both are here to have some fun, so let it rip. Rip her argument to shreds. But you all know what really took place on J6, so let's continue.
Because that happened does not mean I or Katie or any other Republican has to give up on every single value that we've ever had, whether it has to do with taxes or the court or any other policy. You're asking Republicans to turn over the government to absolute radical liberals over one day, and I'm not prepared to do it.
Get him, Scott, over one day. See, this is a great argument. Instead of going ahead and litigating the whole J6 thing, he says, no, what you're really asking is for us to basically surrender and hope for mercy from the Kamala extremist left administration, mercy on us conservatives. That's what you're hoping for. We've already seen what your administration is capable of doing, maliciously, ignorantly, and all of that stuff. We know how you guys hate conservatives. We know all of the things you're putting in place to overthrow all of our institutions and all of this. And you want us, based on trying to shame us over J6 and talking about Trump was an insurrectionist, one day where there was some folks that got out of hand, which you already know how I feel about that. You want us to overlook all of the days and days and days of you guys unleashing mobs on the whole country, radical folks all over the place, and you want us to hang the future of our country on one day that took place on J6. So now all of a sudden, Trump did not do this, even though all of what she said was lies. But nonetheless, let's just say that nobody was able to argue that. He has a point. So you want us to be stupid enough to say, we're going to go ahead and give the keys to communism. And there you go. Hand over the keys to communists so that we can sleep good at night, knowing that we didn't support Trump, who that was an insurrectionist, I guess, even though he wasn't charged for insurrection and nobody else was charged. But you know what? I feel good about it. I feel like I'm a patriot now because I can say I didn't support the guy who encouraged an insurrection as they take us right into communism. And do you think they're going to go ahead and spare us, conservatives? You think they're going to honor us for us saying we're going to vote for Kamala Harris out of patriotism and hope that she's fair? Hope that the Democrats don't abuse their power. Hope that they don't come up with another excuse to lock us down. Hopefully, they'll say, you know what? But for your commitment, conservatives, what we're going to do now is pull back a little bit when it comes down to going after your kids in the schools, pushing that stuff in the schools. Well, we're going to stop dividing the country based on racism, sexism, xenophobia. We're no longer going to be flirting around with globalism. We're no longer going to be shoving the Green Deal down your throats. We're not going to be doing that. We're no longer going to be weaponizing the FBI, the IRS, the DOJ, and all that stuff. We're not going to be doing that because we're honoring you guys voting for us based on saying, well, I feel like a patriot because I didn't vote for Trump. He supported an insurrection. How dumb do you think we are, man or woman? Now listen to this plan.
I believe they matter to the future of the country.
And what policies are you endorsing if you endorse Kamala Harris? We still don't know fully. Let me finish real quick, please. We still fully don't know. Are we going to get the 2019 Kamala Harris, who came out of California and had all these liberal positions that she wanted to ban fracking, that she supported the Green New Deal, and now we're hearing from advisors and mixed things. Oh, maybe she doesn't, maybe doesn't. Are we going to have 2019 Kamala Harris from California? Are we going to have a new Kamala Harris who wants to win swing states and the position changes? You don't know better.
Thank you. We got two conservatives. And now you hear this fool? Any one of those are better. Do you understand? This guy right here has given up his testes a long time ago. This man right here is, maybe he got a cushiony deal. This is like you signing on for a nuclear war. Nuclear war that you can avoid. But you go ahead and say, let's do it. Because you know you have a seat in the bunker. You got a seat in the bunker. But for everybody else, go ahead. Let's blow them off the map. Let's blow them off the map. But hey, man, they got me a nice cushiony seat underground. I got basically a whole mansion underground. I'm going to have all the resources I want. Me and my family will live great. but the rest of us will be blown off the map. This is what this guy's saying. He has the nerve to be talking about either one of those are better. Either one of them. He doesn't even know what the other one is because Kamala Harris has not come out and even mentioned what she really believes. If we're going off of all of the things we've heard her say since she started campaigning back in 2000 and something, 18 or whatever, I'm thinking, yeah, that's extreme. You can't call yourself a Republican, whoever you are, man with the lisp, and you're up here flirting around with those results, saying either one of those are better, especially after knowing what Trump did his first 4 years and the things that he protected. And this fool, I can't even believe him, man. I mean, that's why they should get rid of Southern whatever merjigger anyway. This is ridiculous. Here we go.
Donald Trump on any
one of them better than Donald Trump.
Listen, stop.
Bring it on.
I can remember being on the bus with you, with Romney.
Okay.
And this is something really stuck with me. And one of the aides who worked for you had misspelled something in a press release.
Okay.
And you very, very nicely, you weren't mean, you said, this is someone running for the presidency of the United States to sit in the Oval Office. We have to be at that level and treat it with that respect. How do you say that? And then you get Donald Trump.
Here we go. Now, you ready for the shame? You ready for the shame based on lies and deception? This guy's evil. See, these are the Republicans that we should just throw mud on and say, don't even come over here. Don't be trying to hang around in our circles. We already know what you're about. So now, instead of telling us rationally and supporting why we should vote for Kamala Harris over what? Her policies, over the results that we see, over her past, all of that stuff. This guy is about to use Democrat lies and talking points and say that we should vote for Kamala because Trump is what?
A sexual predator, a criminal, someone who we know is just a horrible human being who doesn't believe.
No, I'm looking at you as the horrible human being because I know you're lying. And I know for whatever your motive is, you're trying to manipulate conservative voters to vote for our own demise. That's what this guy, as a so-called conservative, is doing. For our own demise. How much money did you get? What are you benefiting off of this when you are willing to go ahead and try to say, do it, guys, even though I know that these people mean us no good. It's unbelievable. And then he throws these things out there about Trump that I'm going, you freaking liar, you. These are the type of people, if he was on the playground spreading these type of rumors, he gets socked in the nose.
Even what we believe in rule of law and how all this policy stuff, they're not going to remember what the tax rate was or what, this is basically, it is a character test, Scott.
It's a character test, y'all. They're not going to remember what the tax rates are. No, they're not going to remember what the tax rates are. Yeah, because they're going to be sitting back in somebody's soup line, somebody's bread line. They're not going to remember any of that stuff. They're going to remember how dumb were we to listen to this guy and vote Kamala Harris in when she has come out with policies already that we're going, those look like communist policies. But you know what? J6 and our character and our patriotism is in question. So let's take a gamble and roll the dice with Chameleon. And then all of a sudden, we're all sitting around going, we ain't got nothing and we're supposed to be happy. That you'll own nothing and be happy about it. And we're going, we voted ourselves right into this. We listened to this dummy right there. We're sitting there going, man, it don't even matter about the taxes and all that stuff. It don't matter about none of that stuff. They done got our guns. They won't let us get together on the internets and talk and express our ideas and our thoughts and all of that stuff. They done destroyed the possibility of us ever voting in a legitimate candidate. They done rigged all of the voting. They done got rid of, IDs to vote. They done rigged the dang on Supreme Court. All of it done. This guy is willing to allow all of this to happen. That you, as a conservative, can see it coming a mile away. I'm sitting here going, you don't see all this destruction and death coming, and you want us to vote for that. Based on you'll feel better because you're supporting our democracy. Don't you love the Constitution? I would love to let this dude have it. But Scott's going to go ahead, and he's going to end with a nice statement, too.
It's more than that. It's more than what the tax rate is. Profound policy implications and decisions are coming from the next administration. I firmly believe if the Democrats win, and if they somehow keep control of the Senate, which I don't think is likely, but is possible.
It
They
is.
will eliminate the filibuster. And they will change this country in a way that we can never recover. That is important to
And
me.
what
Now,
does that
listen,
look like?
I don't
Tell me
begrudge.
what
I
that
don't
looks
begrudge
like,
your
Zach.
viewpoint, but you cannot begrudge a Republican for wondering, hey, maybe it's not a great idea for us to drive off the left side of the road so far we can never find our way back.
Thank you. He dropped a bomb on him, baby. So there you have it. My man Scott said, man, don't come at me with this bull crap. All right. So you want to try to shame us into saying, well, we're going to go ahead and side with the left so we can feel good at night. No, Democrats vote like that. Yeah, they are voting against Trump so they don't have to be at the water cooler listening to folks talk about anybody who would vote for Trump they're a jackass. They have to be a white nationalist and a racist. Right, Janet? Yeah, I voted for Kamala Harris too. And we haven't had food in the house in about 8 weeks. But nonetheless, now here's a Democrat, y'all. Here's a Democrat, because that guy just told us as conservatives, we should vote for Kamala Harris. But here's a Democrat who's telling us why he won't vote for Kamala Harris.
Just be perfectly clear about this. I think the modern Democratic Party is an existential threat to the Republic. Oh. And although I am a Democrat, I've been a Democrat my whole life, the party that I see in front of me today is literally the inverse of the party I signed up. This is now...
Well, tell that rhino that. Maybe that rhino don't see this. Or he's a part of it. That's what it is. So an invert, meaning it's the complete opposite of the Democrat Party he remembers. Now, I can argue that they always were garbage, but nonetheless, I see what he's saying. Let's continue.
The party of war. This is the party of racism. This is the party of censorship.
Morning, Meta Chief Mark Zuckerberg admitting he bowed to pressure from the Biden administration to censor content.
What? What? Hold up. Wait a minute. The party of war, the party of racism, the party of censorship. Now that guy right there, he's not a Republican. He's an ex-Democrat. He won't even support them. And then he talks about censorship. And look what this is. Remember, we were all conspiracy theorists. All of these conservatives are complaining about they're on social media and they're being targeted and they're censored and all of this stuff. This right here is just them whining. This is whining. It's the free. But now we find out. But not only that, y'all. Not only was they censoring and he came out and made this confession, but it also weighed in on the 2020 election. Because guess what else they did?
Facebook founder issuing a letter to the House Judiciary Committee that said senior administration officials pushed the social media platform to censor posts about COVID-19 and expressed a lot of frustration when the company resisted. Zuckerberg saying, I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it.
What government? What wasn't Kamala Harris in that? She was. Oh, matter of fact, they had told her to be over the dissent misinformation board too, something like that. So I wonder if the rhino who was just telling all of us Republicans to vote for them, I wonder if he's okay with this. And yes, Zuck is late. Yeah, his butt should pay a price for interfering with the election by going ahead and allowing that garbage to take place. All the money he donated to him, but now all of a sudden, I guess his conscience is bugging him. I guess it's bugging him. Or something else is motivating this dude to come out now and spill the beans. But I wonder if the media is going to cover this. I wonder if the right-wing media who've been saying we are all filled with conspiracy theorists and the election was clean and fair and nothing had any, weigh in on whether it went one way or another. Now we find out that the Biden-Harris administration was heavy on the censorship. Now, we already knew it. But now that it's coming out of the horse's mouth, where's everybody? Why aren't the media coming out and saying, you know why? Because they were going to censor. We need more censorship. We love it. We love it. That's why they ain't saying nothing about this, because they were in on it too.
Adding, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction. And we're ready to push back if something like this happens again.
A little too late. But nonetheless, let's see how it all started.
President Biden was asked about misinformation online in the summer of 2021.
On COVID misinformation, what's your message to platforms like Facebook? They're killing people.
They're killing people. That's creepy. I know when that came out of his mouth, they were like, oh, shoot. All right, how are we going to walk this one back immediately? He just straight came out like, they're killing people. That's a little strong. But that's enough to motivate somebody who owns a business to say, maybe we should censor. We just heard the president say that our company is killing people. Unbelievable.
I mean, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated.
Oh, that's disinformation. That right there is a lie. The only pandemic we have is of the unvaccinated. And that turned out to be a lie. But guess what, y'all? If you would have got on Facebook and said that, you would have been dinged. If you would have got on YouTube and said, this is not the pandemic of the you know what. Okay. See, I'm still scared. I'm still scared to talk about that. Yeah, they shut me down 3 times over that. But yet, that man right there just straight came out and said that. And it turned out to be a big fat what lie.
And they're killing people.
Biden later walked back the comment, insisting he wasn't attacking Facebook. Overnight, the White House responded to Zuckerberg's letter. Our position has been clear and consistent.
What?
We believe tech companies and other private actors should take into account the effects their actions have on the American people.
That right there isn't explaining why you guys were involved in censorship. That's not explaining your role in the in censoring and weighing in and all of that stuff. They're not explaining that. They're just saying, you know what, we think that companies should be responsible for this and that and this and that. No, I want to know, why were you guys getting on the horn talking about, hey, I need you to take this down. Now y'all are looking into this, right? Now do I need to? Okay, now I want to know that. I want to get to the bottom of who are the people who unleash that type of behavior.
While making independent choices about the information they present. Zuckerberg going on to express regret for demoting content related to corruption allegations against Hunter Biden ahead of the 2020 election, alleging the FBI warned information circulating online was a Russian disinformation operation. It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation, and in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story.
In retrospect, you knew it right then. So now let me understand this, Mr. Rhino, who just told us that we should vote for Kamala Harris. So we don't feel like we're voting for an insurrectionist. No, that's an insurrection. These are the communists. These are the people that are a threat to democracy. The ones that would collude with big tech to censor American citizens online. So I guess he wants us to put these folks back in office. You think they're going to learn? You think they're going to say, you know what we did back then? The only thing that will keep this from getting worse is Trump, period. If they get rid of Trump, there is nothing standing between them and tyranny. They will make sure they put things in place to make sure we never have another Trump. He got to get in there and shut all of these institutions down so that they can't operate like this. So here is this guy talking about we should all abandon Trump and vote for more of this, more of these censorship, because I'm sure they feel bad about what they did, especially reading that little press release that made it sound like they've repented. Or did it make it sound like they doubled down?
Zuckerberg went on to say the company has changed its policies and processes to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I should test that tonight. Post something on Facebook and watch it get suppressed.
House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan celebrating the letter, calling it a big win for free speech.
No, it's just simply it being revealed. That's all it is. It's just now out in the open for the dummies. We all knew it. That's what it is. It's not a big win. It would be a big win if the people who were doing it is punished.
Don't recognize this party. There is no conceivable scenario in which I would vote for Kamala Harris. I just simply will not do it. Am I open to voting for?
And he's a Democrat. And yet we had that rhino trying to tell us that we should vote for Kamala. Now, if he feels that way about her, how do you think I feel? How do you guys feel? Is there a way? Is there anything that she could say or do, or, you know, that would make us go ahead and say, well, you know what, I guess we should go ahead and vote for her? Nothing. Nothing in the world, ever. So I'm loving what this guy's saying.
For Trump, I am. I'm especially open to it if he is partnered with Bobby Kennedy, because what that tells me is that my values, which are a much closer match for Bobby's, are represented in that administration. And that's really what I want. I want a coalition to redefine American politics because, frankly, we have a long-standing problem with corruption, which has now turned into something else with the modern Democratic Party. But
yeah, something else that even this guy can't recognize. Sheena from Ireland, she said Ireland for Trump. Oh, no. Looks like my computer's trying to crash. We can't let that happen. All right, we got to hurry up and finish.
We need to rethink the way we govern ourselves so that corruption is not the dominant force, and a coalition is the way we're going to do that.
President Trump is going to make a series of announcements about other Democrats who are joining his campaign.
Like who? Like who?
And I want to make America healthy again, and so does President Trump.
You're a soldier.
Like this? Another person? Oh, yeah. The dream team, we're going to close with her. Oh, man. I like her. Yeah, she's such a beautiful woman, inward and outwardly, and well-spoken. So let's hear what she said. Because, see, these are all things that the Democrats, they don't want to see. These coalitions that are forming are breaking down all kind of barriers and perceptions and stuff like this. They would have you to believe Trump is all about being a dictator. Why would he bring in anybody with different opinions and thoughts and stuff? Why would he want another guy who ran for president to even be a part of his cabinet? That would be a threat to his dictatorship and all of that. Why would he bring in this lady right here that's Hawaiian? Why would he bring her on to help him prepare for Kamala Harris? I thought he hate women. I thought he hate women of color. You know, I watched a clip the other day that I'm mad that they don't use this clip to destroy all these lies they talk about when it comes down to Trump. It was the clip of him with Oprah. And Oprah was loving him, asking him if he's going to run for president. And then one time he addressed it and said, I would run. And you know who I would get to be my running mate? Oprah Winfrey. That was back before he realized she's just a funky, stinking liberal. And he was, I think, might even been a Democrat back then. But he was willing to bring in Oprah Winfrey. And I'm thinking, whoa, why would he even recommend her? Why would he even mention her? This man who hates women and black women especially. Why would he even say that? They should blast that when Chameleon comes out and say, you're a challenge because I'm a woman and this and that and DEI and you're always bringing this stuff up. And just show that clip of him saying, yeah, I would run. If I did run, I'd ask Oprah to be my running mate. And she was giddy. Now she thinks he's a white nationalist. So now here's a woman of color. And she got something to say, too, as we close.
An airman, a Marine, sailor, or a coastie, he keeps us in his heart in the decisions that he makes. What? We saw this through his first term in the presidency, when he not only didn't start any new wars, he took action to de-escalate and prevent wars. Good. He exercised the courage that we expect from our commander-in-chief in exhausting all measures of diplomacy, having the courage to meet with adversaries, dictators, allies, and partners alike in the pursuit of peace.
That's a good leader.
Seeing war as a last resort.
Yeah.
The truth is, as we head towards our decision as a country in November, the same cannot be said about Kamala Harris.
Now, she's a former Democrat, y'all. It appears that the Democrats have become so dirty that they're forcing anybody with a little bit of morality that used to be down with the party, forcing them away. They're red pilling them. That's what they're doing. They're red pilling them. The way they treated her was horrible. Hillary Clinton called her a Russian agent. And now recently, the same administration that rhino was saying would be better than Trump, now have put her on a terrorist watch list. I'm sure, though, if we vote them in, they'll stop. They won't violate our civil liberties, I'm sure.
Because I am confident that his first task will be to do the work to walk us back from the brink of war.
Yeah.
We cannot be prosperous unless we are at peace.
Yeah.
We can't live free as long as we have a government that is retaliating against its political opponents and undermining our civil liberties, weaponizing our very institutions against those they deem as a threat.
Well, wait, because according to that rhino and those folks on CNN said, it's Trump. It's Trump the one who don't have the respect for the rule of law. It's Trump that's going to destroy all of our institutions and attack democracy. It's Trump that tried to overthrow the government and he's an insurrection. It's Trump. Why are these former Democrats able to see how corrupt and evil the Democrat Party is? And that rhino can't. He only sees all the evil that Trump has done, that he's making up. So finish schooling us, Tulsi.
Kamala Harris has done this over the last 3.5 years. She won't hesitate to continue that if she is elected as president.
What? You're telling me she won't just stop? You're telling me, somebody said gave us a little bit of trading places. You remember, I wondered if anybody would get that reference. Yeah. When they brought you in here, you were crying like a baby. Yeah. Wonderful. Man, I tell you, y'all never cease to amaze me. I'm going to have to pull Trading Places up again and get another dose of that. That's when Eddie Murphy was funny back then, before they start making dress up like women and stuff. But now, here we go. She's breaking this mess down because she said that they're going to continue with that. If you are a conservative and you're naive to think that after all of the censorship, after all of them overstepping and abusing their power, if you think they're going to self-regulate, if you think it's all being motivated by them just wanting to stop Trump, you're completely dumb. You might as well be a Democrat. Let's continue.
President Trump has been their first and foremost target in this because they don't want us as voters to even have the option to vote for him. I've been their most recent target, added to a secret domestic terror watch list after exposing the truth about what kind of dangers we would face if Kamala Harris is elected as president.
What? So you ain't allowed to criticize your political leaders under the Biden-Harris administration? Ain't allowed to do that no more? See? Maybe the Rhino needs to know about that. Because remember, we're not patriots if we don't vote for Kamala Harris. Yeah, we want to go ahead and put her back in so she can continue saying what they say about me. They don't like the way I laugh and cackle. Okay, put them on the terrorist watch list. Put them on the watch list. You know the rules. So that's what we're supposed to do. Please, I'm loving this coalition.
We as Americans must stand together to reject this anti-freedom culture of political retaliation and abuse of power. We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future. I am proud to stand here before you today, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. If you love our country, as I do, if you cherish peace and freedom as we do,
keep talking.
I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House to do the tough work of saving our country and serving the people. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, Tulsi. There it is, y'all. A coalition of folks that I think are going to be wonderful when it comes down to opening up a whole different group of voters. And maybe some of them will realize that Trump's not this bad, evil person that they think he is. Maybe it will get to a point where voters will start to see how evil and corrupt the Democrats are. And I love it when folks that came out of their party comes out and exposes them in detail. They don't do like the rhinos come out and they just say Trump's evil, he's a white nationalist, Trump said this, Trump did that, and he only cares about himself and that he's an insurrectionist. No, they come out and they give you examples and details. They censored me, they shut down their own election, they've been watching folks on the internets and all of that stuff. They're going after their political enemies, and here's the proof. All of this stuff out there that these people are highlighting, though, that wasn't coming from us. Those were the last two people, and including RFK, all Democrats, or at least former Democrats. And yet they're able to see the threat the chameleon poses to the whole country. So I'm hoping that it rubs off on a lot of Americans. Because I'm telling you right now, like Trump said, if we don't win this one, we're done. I mean, I really don't see, because Trump will be too old to run after that. And, you know, they would use those next 4 years putting in safeguards to make sure that even if somebody like Don Jr. or Vivek or J.D. Vance, any of them, they would make sure they sabotage the heck out of them. If they can do all that, Trump's special, man. If they can do all of that to Trump and he still keeps chugging along, I mean, I just really think he's God sent. He might not even know it, but I really think Trump is God sent. God put something in that man to fight through all of that. That's why I just in my gut thinks that he's going to win. I mean, he could have been taken out a long time. He should have been taken out about a month and a half ago with that shot to the head. But yet, somehow, miraculously, people don't internalize that. There's two things that make me have a lot more faith in what I think is going to happen in November. One, the fact that Trump did something that he was totally unaware of, but by the grace of God, this guy turns and just gets hit in the ear versus the head. Now, that's on top of all of the other stuff that they've done to stop this man. They escalated it all the way up, and then all of a sudden, boom, he gets shot in the ear and they miss him. You would think they would go, maybe he ain't meant to get killed. Maybe there's a bigger purpose for that man right about there. But then, to top that off, the video of the Christian, he's a pastor, who prophesied this a couple years ago, I think, and he prophesied it to a T. And I'm saying, you a sure enough prophet when you prophesy it to the point where you're like, he's gonna get hit in the ear and all of these things. And I'm going, man, those are coincidences. Those are quinky dinks. So I really do believe that God is not completely done with America, but I think he's letting us know that America is, a lot of people in America are really, really fighting to push God out of America and take us in a direction of no return. Like that stinking rhino on CNN trying to tell us that we're not patriotic if we don't vote for Kamala Harris. Please, he's a part of it. So God bless y'all. God bless America. I refuse to go down or go out like that. I ain't going out like that. I don't care how much they try to shame me. I'm not going to vote for her because she's that woman of color. And I'm not going to vote for her so I can feel more patriotic. I will feel dumber if I voted for her. I will feel anti-patriotic. I feel like I betrayed my country if I voted for that chick. So God bless y'all. God bless America. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place, y'all. Don't forget, on your way out, hit the like button, share my videos, and all of that stuff. Yeah, the pups are up. I put the pups up. I'm still working on Gizmo, getting comfortable around the puppy. He's been giving her the blues, man. I'm telling you, he's become an angry little bugger in his old age. It's just that he's used to, monopolizing the crib. He don't understand. He's like, what the heck is this? What do you mean you petting her and stuff? I'm Gizmo. You forgot that? I'm Gizmo, number one, which he still is, but he don't know that, man. So I locked them both in the room. Maybe I'll give him a cameo tomorrow. Now, on your way out, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other platforms. Don't forget, if you want to check out Kevin's Corner Store, you can do that. And finally, if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can do it through my Cash App and my PayPal. The links are below. Other than that, we're going to get out of here. We will see y'all tomorrow. Oh, don't forget, text Maggot to this number too. There it is. Oh, yeah. Where's my jam at? Jam. Oh, jam. This is our city. I know you see the eights. I know you see the way we tear up the place. Yeah. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.